I mean, you know why you're here. What's up, bro? What's up, sis? What's up, pappy? You know why you're here. You're here for the nitty gritty. You're here for the story. Once I started talking, I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh, my throat. My throat. I'm back. Yay. No photos, no photos, no photos, no photos, no photography, no flash photography, no flash here. Oh my goodness. Anyway, hi, how are you? Oh my goodness, it's been such a long time. I just thought I'd make a video just to check up on everyone and, you know, just be like, you know, I'm still alive and, you know, still, you know, positive and hopeful, you know, because I think some of us lost a lot of hope, but I think hopefully with this video I can bring back a little bit more hope. Yeah, a lot's happened, you know, I'm sure you guys want to know about like what's happened modeling wise and what I've been up to and if anything's changed, you know, but a lot of things have changed, I think, for me, professionally, emotionally, spiritually. Yeah, a lot of things have changed, and yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, I mean, I guess the first thing I would say is like, in terms of like modeling, I remember I felt kind of sad last year, like late last year, because I felt like I missed out on this opportunity, right? Because I remember I got an email from my agency and they were like, such and such designer wants to meet you. And I read the email and I was thinking, oh my gosh, this designer wants to meet me. And I mean, there were so many thoughts running through my head. I was thinking, first of all, let me read the email. So basically, the email was like, hey, Fumi, such and such designer wants to meet you at this time for this job or whatever. And it wasn't even like, oh, bring your portfolio, bring heels. It was just like, go, show up. They just want to meet you. And I was like, okay. And I remember the day before, I felt really like positive about things. I just felt really like cool. You know, I was singing songs, I was dancing. I wanted to let you know that I was singing songs and dancing because that's what I do when no one's watching. And when I got this email, I remember I was thinking, okay, cool. And then I felt like my throat was swollen and I couldn't speak. Because obviously when the first thing you do is you pick up your phone, you know, you don't go, I'm going to pick up my phone. You don't say it, you just pick it up. But once I started talking, I was like, oh my god, I was like, oh, my throat, my throat. Yeah, it was just swollen and I felt tired and I felt ill. But I just felt like, I don't know, was I shouting the previous day? Did I strain my voice? But just something happened. I was thinking, what's going on here? So I immediately emailed my agency and they did call me as well because they were like, this girl's asleep, isn't she? Missed that call. But still, I was in time and I emailed them. I said, I'm ill. And they were like, okay, we'll just pass it on to the next model. I don't know what they did. But I was like, oh my gosh, this is so sucky for me because it would have been a great opportunity to meet the designer, number one, and also like maybe try on some nice clothes. But also, no, seriously, you know, you hear these stories about models, right, who they've been grafting, hustling, waitressing part-time, you know, praying part-time, and then suddenly they get their breakthrough and yeah, and then their life changes forever.
Just the only Paolo gonna take this and give you
a princess.
And this felt like that moment, right? This person wants to meet you at this time for this job. Just go. Don't bring anything with you. And I was like, okay, this is it. So when I couldn't go, I was so gutted. I asked my sister, and she was like, another opportunity will come, because it just isn't right. It just isn't. It isn't right. It isn't right for you right now. You know. Because she said, and I remember this. She said, if I was to go for this, right, and I can't talk, I'm kind of ill. They would think I'm so silly. They would think I have the C word. So yeah, it just wasn't right. And obviously when you meet a client, they want to, even though you might have a mask on your face, you know, because this is where we're at right now, they still want to hear you. They want to feel your personality. And if they're hearing me with like a frog is in my throat, if they're hearing that, they're probably what kind of model did they send to me? So I was kind of like, okay, it's just not meant to be. So yeah, I did feel a bit sad about that, and I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to get over this. And I did. I got over it. How did I get over it? I read. Okay? Because if you wanna be serving looks every day on the gram, if you wanna be slaying, if you wanna get to the next level, you gotta read.
Reading came first. Reading is the real art form.
Okay, you gotta do the work, the learning. So I read this, and I read this, and I read this, this, and this, and I also read this, and I read a whole lot more. And these are the books that stood out to me, I think. I would say these three really stood out to me. Am I selling it? Would you buy this, sir? Madam, would you buy this? And so I guess let me start with this one, because I just took some time and started reading. Why not? So I read this. This is the first one I read. Zadie Smith, Swing Time. And it's a lovely story. It's called Swing Time for a reason, because the story kind of goes back and forth between present day and the past. And the central character is a woman. She's biracial. She is half black and half white. And she is retelling and also living. So it's lovely because she's retelling what happened to her when she was younger, and she was aspiring to be this dancer / singer. And then she's also talking about where she is right now. And where she is right now, she is sort of like, she was working for like a PR company or something, and then she decided to go and volunteer in Africa, as you do, I think in Gambia. And that's honestly where the juicy part of the story is, to be honest. That's where the juicy, that's why it's so juicy. But for anyone who loves kind of like, who's a theatre nerd, because what I can tell from this story is not just the character loves the old Hollywood 1920s classic black and white films. It's not, if you've heard of a movie called Showboat, the author references this a lot. Okay, Zadie Smith. I think it's pronounced Zadie Smith, but I just want to say Zadie Smith. But she references a lot of like old Hollywood theatre stuff. And I think she herself loves that. I don't think it's just the character. I think she loves that, the author, Zadie Smith. And set in London, New York, and West Africa. Swing Time is about two brown girls from Willesden who dream of being dancers. Willesden is in London, somewhere, North London. And it's also about her friend as well, who's also biracial. So it's kind of got that mirroring of like life experiences. It's good. I loved it. It was a long read, but it was well worth it. And when I got halfway through, couldn't put it down. I was like, ooh! Just when you think she's gonna run away with. No, she doesn't. Okay. The camp council. Okay. It's really good. I loved it. It just made me feel like, oh, I just wanna, when I was reading about her past when she was young, I was like, oh, I can relate to this. She mentioned Woolwich. Is it Woolwich? Woolsworth. Who remembers Woolsworth? Is it Woolsworth? In this book, and when she was young, she was like, oh, I went to Woolsworth. I remember Woolsworth, you could get anything. Like, you could get sweets, you could get DVDs, you could get like toys, and then they closed them down. But yeah, when I read Woolsworth, I was like, wow, this is taking me back. It's a great book, honestly. I loved it. Then moving on to this one, The Courage to Be Disliked. And yes, it is a book about being liked. No, seriously, it really is a book about liking yourself and, growing to respect yourself and others in the process. Because as much as this book is about you working on yourself, it's also about how you interact with other people. Because how else can you work on yourself if you don't interact with people and learn from your mistakes? So it's a great book. It mentions a lot about Adler, who is a psychologist. He's dead now, I think. He's definitely dead. But yeah, but I think it's good because it kind of uses psychology to kind of help us see things differently, as not black and white. And the way it's written as well, it's got the philosopher, who's the all-knowing person, talking to this youth, right? And I guess the youth is meant to represent us, the reader, because reading this, you don't know anything. And the youth is supposed to be this like angry, well, not angry, but just like determined, slightly confused, jaded character person. And I guess that's probably why you might have picked this book up, maybe. I mean, I wasn't angry. I don't know, but just wanted to read it because it looked interesting. And I'm glad that it was not what I thought it would be, which is why I picked it up. So yeah, it talks a lot about the Adler theories, about like teleology, etiology, about like trauma and like how we can take the trauma from the past and not take it into the present, and if we do, addressing it head on and just like, this is what it is, so not black and white in like kind of solving things, but black and white in how we just see it, like, this is what is happening, and then you can figure out what to do with it next. And it kind of woke me up. It maybe kind of like slapped me across the face. It was like, wake up. So I love it. And also the author Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. I always say this, Fumi is a name, is my Nigerian name, but also in Japan there are Fumis walking around. Fumi, yes. So yeah, I always feel like, that's kind of fun. I could be Japanese, maybe. Someone did ask me once though. Someone was like, oh, is your dad Japanese? And I was like, yes, my dad is Japanese. So yeah, The Courage to Be Disliked. And then I also read this really weird, absurd book. Etgar Keret. Really absurd, really weird. Just like, it talks about like the afterlife. Just really interesting, like, short stories. So for those of you who don't want to read a lot, because the thing about this one is it's got like youth, philosopher, youth asks a question, philosopher answers. I feel like reading the script. This is more like, I enjoyed this. It was like a refreshing break because it was like little short stories, and some of the short stories would like relay onto the next short story, or like you would even be surprised, like one short story at the beginning would connect to the end of the book, and I was like, ooh, what a twist. So funny. It was so funny. I really enjoyed reading this book. It was so funny. Yeah, about the afterlife, about like quite morbid, like dying and then coming back to life and like what that would be like, and then limbo. And then there was like one story about an assassin who couldn't kill his target because the person was like a long lost friend who helped him at some point when he was like destitute and desperate. And I was like, okay. Interesting career some people have. And what else did I read? Oh, another weird book. I read this, Murakami. Oh my goodness, this guy is so creepy. He's a creepy writer, but he's a genius at it because he just makes it seem so normal. Like, this is what's going on in his mind. And you can be like, oh, I think about this sometimes, but I'm not going to like write a book about it though. So good for him. Men Without Women. And it is exactly what you think it's about. It's stories about another like short story kind of book. Different stories. There was one character who, this is how weird it is and creepy it is. He had a girlfriend, I believe at the time, when he wrote it, when the character was speaking. So a lot of those characters are like talking as well. It's not just like you read, they're narrating the story as well. So like this character, he told his best friend, who's a guy, to sleep with his girlfriend because he was moving to a university far away and he thought that his girlfriend would be lonely. And he's like, I want you as my best friend because I trust you. I wouldn't trust any other man to sleep with my girlfriend. And I was like, yeah, because she would be cheating on you. And like, but he wants his best friend to sleep with his girlfriend. And I was like, okay, makes sense. I think this entangle, that's what you call an entanglement. Oh my gosh. Oh, 2020. That's what you call an entanglement or a situationship. But yeah, he was like, yeah, sleep with my girlfriend, I trust you. And I was thinking, okay. And on that note, let me have a sip because refreshing. I read some books and that really helped me just get over some things. Some people watch movies, some people exercise. I read, but I also exercise too. Don't get it twisted. You gotta. This ain't gonna do much. It's gonna exercise the mind though. And yeah, a lot of things changed for me professionally as well. I feel like I was working a part-time job whilst I was modeling because how do you sustain a full-time job with modeling unless you're like got a rich uncle or like you're one of those famous models, the Hadid sisters. If you're one of them, then if you are watching Hadid sisters, hit me up. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. So I left my job because I was like, I need to put more time into the modeling and the writing, because if y'all don't know, I'm not just a model, okay? I'm also a writer. And yeah, my Instagram, crickets on my Instagram and some, I feel like the whole of 2020 was just crickets. And I'm sure you all experienced that, just sitting in your house by yourself. But no, like the Instagram, like I just was so busy with my writing that I didn't have time, literally have time for modeling. So yeah, but now, things are changing. I have kind of figured things out a bit more, so I know kind of what I'm doing, I think. And yeah, I've been working on my blog, right? My blog. So and I've also got an exciting collaboration coming up. So it's going to tell like a story about the creative industry as a whole, how there could be more inclusivity in the industry, how we can recognize it more as like a career choice. Because when I first started telling my parents I'm modeling, they were just looking at me like,
will you keep quiet?
Okay, you might as well be I don't know, poor and homeless now. You might as well just leave our home. So they're not that harsh, but they love me. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to share. So yeah, I've been working on my blog, I've been writing, I've been doing a few interesting projects, and yeah, I can't wait to share all that with you. Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all, Kelly. Thank y'all, Beyonce. Thank y'all, Michelle.
I want y'all to give it up for the lovely Kelly Michelle.
You seen that video, Beyonce? Thank Beyonce performing at, was it the Super Bowl? And then that was her way of saying get off the stage. She's like, thank y'all, Michelle. Thank y'all, Kelly. Thank you. And if you didn't get that, read the room. Like, if they didn't get that, that means you can leave now. And then Beyonce go into her, who run the world? Who run the world, girls? Who run the world? Me. Yay. That's my alter ego, would be Beyonce probably. And also Beyonce, if you are watching this, yeah. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys are doing good and staying positive. Hope I made you laugh, and yeah, see you on Instagram. Oh yeah, if you aren't following me on Instagram, I'm at the Funmi Official. Yeah, I might post on there, I might not. I might just delete the whole account, the whole bloody account, who knows. In all seriousness though, yeah, if you want to follow me and see what I'm up to, modeling wise, I guess. And also check out my blog, For Her Musings, if you haven't already. And yeah, I'm gonna go and reread all these books. And oh, I almost forgot to say, it's me, Funmi O, and thank you for watching my video. Bye!